just literally a bomb train running across our country? It's fine for you to have air brakes. It's fine for you not to have these ECP brakes. I mean, just think about that for a second, how crazy this is.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We got this preliminary NTSB report. NTSB is the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB. They had a preliminary report on the accident that found that this was 100% preventable and no evidence that the crew did anything wrong. So this is a really, really clear report.
And I think that's very important because in situations like this, it's very common to have like individual workers involved, thrown under the bus, thrown under the track, so to speak, and you know, they try to push blame as if it is just the individuals on that particular train, or you know, whatever the incident may be. So I really am glad that the NTSB put that out there in clear language.
Yes. Now Dale last week on his show with me, and I was on his show talking about this, and you can find, we clipped it and we put it on our channel because that was something that we hadn't discussed in that way yet, and so you know, we thought our audience might enjoy it. But he tried to make the case that actually no, the rule wouldn't have helped, and that's fair enough, because the rule that he's talking about is the Obama-era regulation that said that high-hazard trains have to have ECP brakes, electronically controlled pneumatic brakes. And it is true in a sense that that rule would not have stopped this and would not have helped that. Why is that? Why is it that the Obama-era rule wouldn't have stopped this? Because the Obama-era rule would not have applied to this train. The Obama-era regulations would not have classified this train as high hazard and thus not subject to the regulation. And so from the ensuing disaster, we can see, obviously, this is a high hazard train, okay? You know, just into, you know what, the idea that you could have a category for trains that is titled high hazard, and that this train is not included in it, shows the falsity of the regulation, okay? And before, when the rule was being developed, there was a push to include more trains, to broaden the definition of high hazards that might have actually included this train that Norfolk Southern really pushed back against. And so the rule was limited. The rule was limited to trains that are even more dangerous than this one. Okay? So Obama said, look, if you've got a train that's this level of dangerous, which is more dangerous than this East Palestine train, right? Think about that, how dangerous those cars have to be. You have to have electronically controlled pneumatic brakes. And what those do is they stop every car on the train at the same time. Instead of what happens right now, where they've got these like 1800s, like technology that is derivative of 1800s era technology that is air brakes that stops the train from the front first. And we can understand how if you've got a train going this way, going down the track, and the front stops and the back isn't being stopped at the same time, well, that's how these derailments happen, right? That's how this kind of stuff happens. And so electronically controlled pneumatic brakes, ECP brakes, really decrease the likelihood of train derailments. They're very good. And the Obama-era regulation did not apply to this train. And the Trump administration pulled it back. So think about that for a second. The Trump administration looked at this rule and said, oh, you're a bomb train, like you're just literally a bomb train running across our country. It's fine for you to have air brakes. It's fine for you not to have these ECP brakes. I mean, just think about that for a second, how crazy this is. And so Dale was trying to, he probably wasn't trying. He was just misunderstanding the thing because, like I said, people, when you are only looking at this through partisan politics, it's just going to break your brain. You're not going to be able to understand what's going on. And Dale clearly does not understand what's going on. He doesn't understand what's going on here. And so The Railroad Workers United put out a statement, and co-chair Gabe Christensen said, Railroad workers experience firsthand every day the dangers inherent in this style of railroading. It has impacted their safety, health, state of mind, and lives on and off the job. Railroad Workers United General Secretary Jason Doring adds, every day we go to work, we have serious concerns about preventing accidents like the one that occurred in Ohio. As locomotive engineers, conductors, signal maintainers, car inspectors, track workers, dispatchers, machinists, and electricians, we experience the reality that our jobs are becoming increasingly dangerous due to insufficient staffing, inadequate maintenance, and a lack of oversight and inspection. We recognize that limits on train lengths and weights are necessary to prevent catastrophic derailments. RWU demands immediate action by government regulatory agencies and Congress to rein in Class 1 railroads. This action must ensure sufficient staffing to do the job properly, efficiently, and safely, with all trains operating with a minimum of a 2-person crew. Train length and weight must be capped at a reasonable length to mitigate the increased likelihood of breakdowns, train separations, and derailments. Adequate and proper maintenance and inspections of locomotives and train rails and rail cars, tracks and signals, wayside detectors, and other infrastructure must be implemented. Ample training and time off without the harassment of draconian attendance policies must also be standardized. And this is totally doable. This is all totally doable. This is all within, a lot of this is frankly within the executive authority, but it's also obviously within the authority of Congress, because they just implemented a contract that they just implemented a contract on the rail workers and on the rail carriers. Technically, this is also an imposition by Congress on the rail carriers. It's not the rail carriers saying, oh, this is our contract. And, this is just Congress. What happened in December was Congress creating a contract, which was really pulled out, but it didn't have to be. It didn't have to be taken from the companies. But that's what happened. They could have done anything differently that they wanted, because it's just a law that they passed. They could have done something differently. But instead they didn't, and this is the result of it.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.